Patatas Bravas. Is it the best potato dish of all time? Let's find out, shall we?
Start by filling a pot with 1.5 litres or 3 pints of water and add 20 grams of salt and half a teaspoon of bicarbonate or baking soda. Heat on and put a lid on and leave it to come up to a boil. At the same time, put a baking sheet in your oven and turn the heat to 200 Celsius, 400 Fahrenheit. Let's talk potatoes, a subject very close to my heart. The variety I have here are generally called Spanish white potatoes in English-speaking countries. The real name is Patata de Galicia. They are delicious and have a firm but creamy texture once cooked. I recommend using this variety if you can get them. If not, I would go for Charlottes or Maribels in the UK and Yukon Golds or Elbas in North America. So basically just peel them and cut them into large chunks, then go over to your stove where your pan of water should be up to the boil. Carefully add the potatoes into the pot. In most cases, I would cook potatoes in cold water brought up to a boil, not straight into boiling water. But for this dish, we want to create some texture on the outside of the potato, and going straight into boiling water will help a lot with this. Now we are going to prepare a paste for the bravas sauce. In goes half a white onion and a quarter of a red pepper. To prepare both of these, I just roughly chop them into manageable sizes for my stick blender. Then add a strong pinch of salt, around a full teaspoon, 2 whole peeled garlic cloves, 1 dried chili. This is a chili de arbol. These are spicy. If your chilies are milder, then use more. A healthy squeeze of tomato paste, around a heaped tablespoon. And finally, a good glug of extra virgin olive oil, probably around 3 tablespoons. Now blend into a paste with a stick blender. You may be asking why I'm not using a liquidizer or a blender. When making small amounts of pastes or sauces like this, everything tends to stick to the sides of blenders, and they are a pain to clean as well. If I was making a large batch of this paste, I would be using a blender. As you can see, it doesn't take long with a stick blender and the washing up is minimal. In the end, the paste should be reasonably smooth, like this. The potatoes have been on a heavy simmer for around 10 minutes and they are still holding their shape and feel tender when I put my knife in. These are ready to come off the heat. Scoop them out of the water into a bowl and let them steam off for a few minutes so the surface dries out a little. After a few minutes of steam drying, add some olive oil. I used around 3 tablespoons. And a light pinch of salt. Remember, these went into heavily salted water to cook, so only a little is needed here. Now give them a mix around in the bowl. This is achieving 2 things, getting the oil and salt dispersed evenly and roughing up the surface of the potatoes so they get super crispy in the oven. Most patatas bravas recipes call for the potatoes to be deep fried. This method we're going to roast them. If you want to deep fry them, then don't add the salt and oil at this stage, just let them cool a little more, then deep fry them from there. Now get your preheated tray out of the oven, just remember it's very hot, and carefully place your potatoes onto the tray. They should make a sizzling sound as soon as they hit the tray. Drizzle with a touch more olive oil and back into the oven for 20 minutes. Now it's time to cook the sauce. Get a medium pan onto a medium heat and add around 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Then add half a tablespoon of flour. Cook this on a medium heat, stirring at first to get everything mixed together. This is essentially a very loose roux and we just need to cook the flour out for 2 minutes. If you don't already have one of these silicone spatulas, then get one. They are priceless for tasks like this. I'm a huge fan of a simple wooden spoon, but sometimes these are just superior. Okay, now in with the paste we made earlier. We want to fry this off for 5 minutes to cook out all the raw flavours of the onion, the garlic and the tomato paste. Stir this regularly so nothing sticks and burns. After 5 minutes of cooking and stirring, in goes 20 ml or 1.5 tablespoons of sherry vinegar. Red wine vinegar would also work as well. 20 grams or 1 heaped tablespoon of brown sugar and 1 tablespoon of hot paprika. If you don't like spice, then you could use the sweet paprika, but bravas sauce should be spicy. Stir all that in and continue to cook for 2 to 3 minutes at a heavy simmer like this. At this point, regularly stir as the sugar and the paprika like to catch on the base of the pan. It's been 20 minutes in the oven for the potatoes and I'm going to give them the first flip. They have formed a crust on the side that's touching the tray and are getting a few little golden patches. Back into the oven for 15 to 20 minutes. Back to the sauce and I'm adding 200 grams, roughly a cup of chopped tomato and stirring it in. This could also be whole peeled tomato that you've crushed yourself, or it could be fresh tomato. You would just have to cook the sauce out for longer. Now I'm adding 100 ml or half a cup of chicken stock. This traditionally would be a ham on stock, which has a deep, rich, salty flavour. As much as I want to have a ham boiling on the stove for hours, unfortunately I don't. So I'm using the next best thing, which is half a chicken stock cube in 100 ml of water. I'm not ashamed to say that I'm using a stock cube for this. It gives me the saltiness that I'm looking for. If you have a ham stock, then definitely use that. And if you're looking to keep this veggie friendly, then use some veg stock. Now cook this sauce for another 20 to 30 minutes, stirring regularly so nothing sticks and burns. The potatoes have had their 15 minutes in the oven and are looking a little more golden. This variety of potato doesn't get golden all over like a russet or a Maris Piper would. They keep their creamy texture and have this blonde appearance. This is as far as I want to take these potatoes. I'm giving them one more flip and putting them back into the oven, but turning the heat off, so they stay hot whilst my sauce finishes cooking. The sauce has had its 20 minutes of cooking, the colour has deepened slightly and it has thickened a little. I know it's ready by dragging my spatula through it and it leaves a slight trail behind like this. At this stage, give it a taste. It should be tangy, spicy and slightly sweet, kind of like a spicy ketchup, for lack of a better term. Adjust with salt, sugar and vinegar if it needs it. Heat off and leave to cool for 10 minutes. Time to plate. Everything has cooled down slightly. The sauce you can serve hot or warm. Most Patatas Bravas has all the sauce on top of the potatoes. I like to serve it with the tomato sauce on the bottom so the potatoes stay crispy. It also looks more appealing in my opinion. Then pile the crispy potatoes high, and to finish off, of course, a healthy dose of aioli. Link to a recipe for this in the description. Top with a little finely chopped parsley, and there you have my Patatas Bravas. Spicy, tangy sauce, crispy, creamy potatoes, and a rich aioli. I've been cooking this dish for over 15 years, and this is the best recipe I've cooked. Definitely in my top 5 dishes of all time. And as always guys, ingredients, equipment, and links are all in the description below.
Alright guys, and that's that. Go make this recipe, you won't regret it. Here's the link to the aioli recipe, and I'll see you next time.